I try to make this closer to me because I'm tiny. Okay. Hello, everybody. That is hot. I'm going to step back. Hi, everyone. So, I'm Charles. I am a poet. That's the only interesting thing about me. I'm going to say all the important stuff first so I don't forget it afterwards. I'm so honored to be here. Thank you, Victoria, for thinking of me for an event such as this. It is such an honor to share my work with this space. It is so cool to be in the Fringe Theater. Literally, like, when I heard it was up here on the floor, I was like, how the hell did I get a theater? But super honored to be here. And just gonna have a lot of fun with you all tonight. So, as my bio said, I've been doing poetry for a little bit of time, specifically slam and competition poetry. So I'm just gonna run through some poems that were pivotal moments in my competition journey, if that's okay for y'all. Yes. All right, and so the one thing that I'm gonna really need y'all to do, I know this is a poetry reading, and poetry readings can get very formal. I need y'all to give me some energy. So there's this thing in the poetry community called feeding the poet. Shitty energy is gonna cause a shitty show. So if you like anything I say, can I just hear you snap for me? Or see you nod your head? If I'm super awesome, you can go, you can stomp your feet, but I want to hear y'all so that this isn't just a me talking at you thing. This is an intimate, interactive thing. We're gonna have a lot of fun tonight. Is that okay? Yeah. Awesome. Okay. This first poem I'm going to get into was actually my first viral poem. And the reason that the way I found out that it went viral is I was receiving death threats on Instagram because some people misunderstood what the point of the poem was. So I woke up one morning and I had like 30 messages of just people telling me I was awful and that I needed to die. But my poem had hundreds of thousands of views. So, take the good with the bad. I have a disease. Actually, it's more of this condition that puts me in a position where people always look down on me. I diagnosed myself the day the cable man asked to see my ID. He looked me in the face and told me there was no way I was 18. I knew he wasn't trying to be mean or anything. He'd just been messed up by my chemical makeup. See, my condition isn't taught about in schools. You can't find it in textbooks. Scientists are still studying its origins. It's a condition uncommonly known as Ariana Grande syndrome. For those who don't know, Ariana Grande syndrome is the major flaw in always looking like a minor. It was named after that singer Ariana Grande, who's known for being the literal exact opposite of her name. So we people who suffer from Ariana Grande syndrome seem to stop growing before we even start. Developing to look underdeveloped, maybe we hit puberty so hard it stops. And tall people, see, y'all think this is hilarious. Y'all be calling us travel size, and pocket size, and fun size. But ain't nothing fun about being old enough to pay taxes, but too short to reach your cereal on top of the refrigerator. I am hungry, and I'm mini, and I'm tired of always being criticized for being bite-sized. See, so many people don't understand the issues caused by Ariana Grande syndrome. My life is a constant battle to see past the person in front of me. Or people asking if I'm old enough to do shit. Or those people who like to use your heads as armrests. I mean, that's just degrading and rude. And what makes you think a person my size can carry your weight? We're not kickstands, although we might be small enough to be. It's time for short people to start getting the respect they deserve. There's plenty of people out here with Ariana Grande syndrome who contribute a lot of great stuff. For instance, Ariana Grande. But since we're on the subject, let's not forget Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. dreaming dreams big enough for this nation at 5'7". Or how Spike Lee directed the world's attention from his stature to his film. I'm sure being 5'5" doesn't kill Kendrick's vibe. So tall people, y'all might want to check yourselves. Don't you know? Big change comes in small packages. We short people speak louder in order to be heard. We jump higher in order to be seen. So you might look over us, but you can't overlook what we've done. Don't look at the tree and forget about the sea. Don't look at the ocean and forget the stream. Remember, David and Goliath ended with Goliath on his back. So don't you get a big head just to have it chopped off. That human armrest of yours might be the next Gandhi, or Beethoven, or Spud Webb. Check the World Wide Web and educate yourselves. All the bark with twice the bite. We changing this world with half the height. So you might look down on us now, but you'll look up to us later. Yeah. So that one got me a lot of attention and a lot of hate. People thought I was making fun of Ariana Grande, but I love her. We're best friends. Yeah. Ask her. Okay. So this next poem I'm going to do was a poem I wrote about a very, very unfortunate event that you'll hear from the poem, but it was also the first poem that I ever had featured on Button Poetry, which, if you don't know, Button Poetry is kind of a big deal in the poetry community. It's a big deal to be featured on their platform. It's a lot of exposure, and so we'll get into this. And trigger warning for anyone who needs a trigger warning, it's a poem and it's going to be sad and there's stuff in it. My community has a saying, it gets better. We hold on to the lights at night when the closet gets too dark, but sometimes the hell you live in is your own skin, and you don't even have a closet to hide in. The night of Pulse, my parents didn't know to check on me. Not because we sat in the same living room watching the same news report, but because I wasn't out to them then. See, I was a good gay. One that could liquefy every piece of themselves and be washed down the drain. One that could be mopped up after the gunfire and treated as if they were never there. They did not know. I would lie my head 20 minutes away from a grave that could easily have been my own. Have you ever held back tears because you didn't know if they were valid? My community can tell you how breathing and suffocating often feel the same. Sometimes you don't get the privilege of reacting. You can't afford to fall apart because it just might cost you your life. And I think of the victims of the Pulse shooting, and if their eulogies also acted as their coming out stories, wondering how the skin someone was born in could translate to someone else as a target you think that by now we'd be used to hiding. Gotten accustomed to locking the closet door, you think we'd never stop looking over our shoulders because good gays know their place. Because our love is just a doormat to people who don't believe our reality exists. It's opening up your ribcage so the majority has more room. People don't see you until they trip over your body searching for a jacket to wear. When you're gay, loving yourself becomes a political statement, an act of defiance. It's clawing fear out of your muscle memory. It's telling yourself it gets better. It'll get better. See, it gets better until dissociation drips into your DNA. But what else can we do when all bravery gets you with blood on the dance floor, but fear will leave you a skeleton in the closet? I guess it's better to die at your own hand. Being gay is finding relief in a death at your own hands. I don't remember how long it took my friends to convince me to ever go back downtown. And still, I look over my shoulder. Still, I hold on to my breath as if it will be my very last, knowing each time it just might, and wondering if it were, would the ones I love know where to find my body? And would they be willing to claim it? Thank you. All right, yeah, so that I performed, the particular performance that's on Button Poetry, I performed at the Capturing Fire Slam. It was a queer exclusive slam that they host in DC yearly. It was an incredible time just to be in a space that was queer dominant, where we got to share our stories, where you just get to see many different realities, when oftentimes that's not welcome. So I always appreciate that, and I appreciate Button Poetry for just sharing that story with a larger audience. All right, so I got 2 more pieces for y'all. Is that okay? 2 more? Okay. So this next poem that I am going to do took me a while to build up the courage to do it, but I am just blown away with how well it's been received, and the people that come up to me and just tell me that my words and my experiences and my identities resonate with people. That's something that I feel like a lot of us forget the impact we have when we're just kind of living through it. All rise. This is case 042495 in the matter of Charles Hines and the ownership of the identity thereof. Present with us today, we have blackness and queerness. Blackness, your opening statement. Your Honor, I'm here to speak on behalf of a bloodline, of DNA, of over 400 years of slavery, 89 of segregation. This man is black by birth. Queerness, you may speak. Your Honor, this isn't about color. It's about love, the very language that the heart speaks. Over 20 years of being documented as a mental disorder, under 10 of legal marriage, and a lifetime of inequality. See, black people don't believe in homosexuality. It's not that we got a problem with gay folks, it's just the Bible says gay people aren't racist. You can't be mad at somebody for their preference, We just don't want black people in our media. We just don't want gay folks around our kids. A black gay face couldn't lead our movement. It's hard enough being black. Don't y'all know black people were chained up by the millions and left to die in cotton fields? It's hard enough being gay. Don't you know gay people were infected with AIDS by the millions and left to die in hospital beds? Wait, I object. Didn't blacks sell blacks into slavery? I object. Isn't being gay a choice? I object. Oh, so I guess they've never heard of Tuskegee. Oh, so I guess they've never heard of Stonewall. Oh, but what y'all know about being a nigga? Well, what y'all know about being a faggot? Well, what y'all know about being shot down, beat down, locked up, beat up, hanged, raped, murdered for being too much you? The party in question has prepared a statement. Sometimes I don't think my body can handle any more oppression. My identities couch hop from place to place, packaging portions of my personality and waiting for the appropriate spaces to unbox them. My mind is a custody battle. Both communities stepping on the other's vocal cords to colonize the tongue I taste, the paper my eulogy be printed on. Ain't that the blackest thing you ever heard? Having to live with a contingency plan? Ain't that the gayest thing you ever heard? Trying to prevent the prophecy of your own death? Ain't that the most intersectional thing you done ever heard? See, I am proud to be black, and I am proud to be queer, but this pride is yanking me off of two bridges at once. My funeral is a fist fight between families. I wonder which piece of me will scream the loudest, or if both will seal the other's mouth shut, but I know that objecting to either would just mean to object to myself.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much. So, I wrote that piece years ago, and I sat on it. I think I was just so scared of it. You know, when you write something and then you have to run away from it? That's exactly what happened. I wrote it, and I just sat it down for years and years and years, and I was like, nobody's going to receive this, nobody's going to get it, this is too much. And then finally one day it felt right, and I released it to the world, and people think it's pretty cool. So yeah, I just let them keep thinking that it's pretty cool. All right, I got one more for y'all. Y'all still with me? Yeah. Awesome. Again, thank you so much, Victoria, for this platform. I am so overwhelmingly honored to be here. It's so dope to share this space with y'all. If you want to stalk me, if you want to be my friend, if you liked anything that you've heard, please connect with me. I'm a person. You can come talk to me. I'm also an artist who doesn't like to be at home, so you'll probably run into me in these Tampa streets. My social media is Charles Hines 401. My website is thecharleshines.com, so come hang out with me. So this last poem I'm going to do was a reminder to myself of how important it is to walk in your purpose and to follow what you love. Sometimes all you really have to do is follow your heart and all the other shit falls into place. So somebody told Pastor that I shouldn't be teaching Bible study because I got gay poems on the internet. They don't see God in my words, although my words help people see God. I guess divinity don't know diversity. Guess my testimony be too troubling. See, I be the picture of everything they don't want their children to become. Somebody who loves themselves. Somebody who knows who they are and just happens to be gay. Statistics say people raised in church will make the decision to stay in church between the ages of 18 and 30. I promised myself that I would never be a person who disappeared on God. But he and I ain't been on speaking terms. A canyon of he said, she said, burrowed between us, only communicating through spitballs. If God is a father, that would explain his absence. What's a father to a black boy other than folklore? If God is love, that would explain his distance. What is love to a gay boy other than forbidden? If Jesus really paid it all, then why is salvation always out of my tax bracket? They say there is no God in the work I do because I call myself a poet and not a pastor. We artists just put on pretty shows. They don't see this open mic as an altar call. They don't see miracles in the way we raise spirits with a little spit and ink. Because we write our own scriptures, we are seen as unholy. Because we passing around blunts and not Bibles, we are unworthy. But even Jesus spoke in parables. I heard he was harnessing the heavens with haikus, spit bars from behind bars with whores and thieves by his side. And listen, I've seen ciphers shed crosses off of people's backs. I've seen poets yank curses from their bones and stuff them onto pages. I know youth conquering demons by learning to conquer their inner thoughts. But this is not the work of God. They cannot see heaven and how we hold each other through our trauma. We heal with the truths we carry within our wounds. They act like our snaps don't calm troubled waters, like our applause ain't a joyful noise. But I know that God is in our midst. So since I can't teach the Bible, I teach poetry. I I gather a congregation of rejected stones, and we tell each other that we are loved. We call forth the pain until there is nothing left to heal. We are the stones that you rejected, the pages ripped from your holy book. What y'all know about this kind of holy? See, God gave us a salvation without a blueprint, but people who do not truly know God have always tried to steal him from the mouths of the righteous. Every day, they will say we are not a miracle because they have never seen it before. They will raise their hands to write our eulogies and plagiarize God's signature at the bottom. But we stand in the line of their flying stones and we trust in him anyway. And ain't that God?